Hey, welcome. So forget about just making a poster for a class or a presentation. Today we're doing something much bigger. We are building a blueprint for your entire professional future. This is all about turning that vague idea of self-reflection into your most powerful career tool. Ready? Let's dive in.
Yes, those four little words. The question that kicks off pretty much every interview, and it can either start things off with a bang or a whimper, right? I mean, how do you actually answer that? How do you wrap up your past, your present, and your future into one single compelling story on the spot?
Well, here's the answer. It's a tool called the Reflective Portfolio Poster. Seriously, think of this as your secret weapon. It's a structured visual way to take all that deep thinking about yourself and turn it into a clear, confident, and really compelling professional narrative. So here's our game plan for today. We're going to start with the blueprint itself. Then we'll dig into your core values, your unique personality, and what really drives you. After that, we'll get into how to design all of that into a visual story that you can present with total confidence. Let's get to it. First things first, before we can start building anything, we need to understand the architecture, right? Think of this whole process as a journey of structured self-discovery, and it's all built on a really solid foundation. And that foundation, it rests on these three massive pillars. Your values, what you truly stand for, your personality, who you are, really, and your motivation, what actually gets you out of bed in the morning. We're going to tackle these one by one. All right, let's start with that first pillar, values. But here's the twist, and this is super important. We are not looking backward. This is all about defining the aspirational values that are going to guide your future, the person you actually want to become. Okay, so here's the action item for you. You're going to list 5 to 7 values you want to embody. But, and this is the key, don't just write down the words. For each one, whether it's integrity or resilience or empathy, you have to write down why. Why does that matter for the future you? That why is everything. It's the heart of your whole story. Okay, now for the big one. This is probably the most intensive part of our whole journey. A really deep dive into your professional personality. This is where we get specific about who you are right now, and maybe more importantly, who you could be. So how do we do it? It's a pretty methodical process. First, you're going to get some objective data. Take a couple of different personality tests. Something like the Big Five is great. Next, pick a business leader who you genuinely look up to. Then do your homework. Find out what makes them tick. And finally, you're going to put it all side by side and see what you find. And this right here, this is the core of the whole exercise. On one side, you've got your traits, backed by data from the tests. On the other, the traits of your inspiration. Now, this isn't about judging yourself. It's about identifying what we can call a growth gap, that interesting space between where you are today and where you aspire to be. Insight is one thing, but it's useless without action. So you'll pick out a few of those key differences, and then, this is the most important part, you create a real, concrete plan to start bridging those gaps. So if your leader is way more assertive, your plan might be to volunteer to lead one team meeting a month. See? It's about turning reflection into actual, measurable growth. So we've covered what you stand for and who you are. Now for that third and final pillar, your inner drive. This part is all about taking those gut feelings you have about what you like and don't like at work and turning them into strategic knowledge you can actually use. And we can use some pretty cool frameworks to understand this. For example, there's self-determination theory, which gives us a language for this stuff. It suggests we're really motivated by 3 things. Are you driven by having control over your work? That's autonomy. What about becoming a real expert at something? That's competence. Or are you all about building strong team bonds? That's relatedness. The goal here is just to connect your own personal experiences to these kinds of frameworks. Because when you can say, I thrive in roles with high autonomy and a clear path to competence, you're no longer just saying, I like to work alone. You're speaking a strategic language that managers and recruiters totally get. Okay, we have done the deep, introspective work. Phew! Now the fun part really begins. We are shifting gears from reflection to creation. How do we take all these amazing insights we've uncovered and turn them into a single, compelling visual document? So first, let's talk structure. Look, there's no need to reinvent the wheel here. Just follow a layout that's proven to work. You'll notice how the personality section, since it's the deepest part of your analysis, gets the most space, the most real estate. Your values and motivation sections frame it perfectly. This creates a visual story that someone can understand almost at a glance. And remember, design isn't just about making it look pretty. It's about making it clear. Use a big font for your title, something smaller for the body text. Pick 2 or 3 colors and just stick with them. Use visuals like charts and photos to break up all the text. And please embrace white space. An uncluttered poster signals an uncluttered mind. Less is definitely more. All right, your blueprint is built. It looks sharp and professional, but the final stage is all about bringing that document to life. This isn't something you just email off and forget about. It's a story that you need to be able to tell with real conviction. And you have to be able to tell that story in 3 minutes. That's it, 3. Just 3 minutes to walk someone through this entire incredible journey of self-discovery. That time limit forces you to be concise, to be compelling, and to know your story inside and out cold. And the presentation itself isn't just you talking at someone, it's a conversation. So you have to be ready for the follow-up questions they are definitely going to ask. Why did you pick that leader? How exactly are you going to implement that action plan? What was the one thing that surprised you most in this process? Your poster is your guide, your visual aid. It's not a script. The real insights have to come from you. Because ultimately, what you've created here, it is so much more than just a class assignment. It's a living document. It's a snapshot of who you are right now, who you want to be, and exactly how you plan on getting there. It really is your professional DNA, visualized. So I'll leave you with this one thought. We've walked through the entire process, from these big, abstract ideas all the way to a concrete plan. You have the blueprint in your hands. The only question left is, what's the first brick you're going to lay? What's that first future value you would write down right now? That's where your real journey begins.